All right. Today I have with me on the podcast Patrick Loeffler. He is the co-founder and CEO of Givve, a B2B company, surprisingly, that operate primarily in the German market in the benefits employee, benefits sector, and have been in growing for a while, with a pretty cool experience of starting out a bit in the B2B, B2C sector and actually ending up finding more of a footing in the B2B space. I'm super excited to dig into that story and all of the learnings that have that you've had throughout the years. Thanks a lot for joining, Patrick.
Thank you for having me. And when you say it, it sounds so mild and calm, but B2C was a super huge fucking failure. So where we were bankrupt the first time. So find the footing.
Okay, yeah.
I will try to remember these cool phrases, but yeah.
I think it's actually better. I should have said that instead. That should catch people's interest.
Yeah, I mean, it's always, I do this since 2010, so more than 15 years, and most of the founders who are in the business that long, they at least had one or two or even more major failures, and the cool ones. Oh, now I put me as a cool one. This was not my intention, but the
I
ones
think
I
that's
love
okay.
to talk to speak with, they share this openly because it's the best if you can learn from other people's failures, because then hopefully you don't have to do them.
Yeah, you'll probably have to do some either way. It's hard to get by without it. But as we were talking about just before we started the recording, it's such a big part of it. Why don't we start a little bit back in the day? Let's catch people up to what Givve actually is. What do you do as a company? What's the primary way that you're valuable to your clients, the people that actually work with you or use your products, and then maybe a little bit who you actually help as well.
That's a good start. It's B2B to E, and the E stands for employee, because with our product, the paying customer is the company. This is our client. That's whom we send the invoices to. But actual user of the product is the cardholder. So we sell prepaid MasterCards to employers, and they give it to their people working in the company to put benefit. In our case, in Germany, the regulatory is 50 euros per month per employee, is tax-free. And the card user can use, it's a prepaid MasterCard, nearly everywhere where he or she wants to pay. So we have two different kind of people we have to make happy somehow. It's the card user, it's a single person, and that's so helpful that our background was B2C, because we were used to having only one client and to make one individual happy. On the other hand, we have the company. For them, if you have 50 or 500, or we have larger ones with 5,000 people, for them it needs to be easy to manage this 50 euros and nearly automated, because no one wants to spend with this more than 1 hour per month or even less. So it's very two different targets.
Have that meant you've almost split the customer success or the operational side in two, or is it still the same people that handle both types of clients?
One number is important. We have around 30,000 clients and nearly 700,000 card users, and we win on an average day 1,000 card users per day. And this with a small team. I find it a small team of only 70 people in Germany. And no, it's not separated, because sales and marketing is only done on the client side, on the corporates. We don't do any B2C
B2C.
or
Yeah.
B2E, if we
Yeah.
stick with the
Yeah.
employee
Yeah.
term.
Yeah.
We don't market them. It has, and this afterwards, you're always more clever than in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
At a certain tipping point, we actually had the employees pushing our business, because, the employees change employers. And with
Yeah.
the new employer, they said, hey, look, I had this 50 euros.
Why don't I have it here? Yeah.
What the fuck? What's going on here? I want this.
Yeah.
And there are also competitors, so not everyone is then coming to us, but at least it's creating knowledge about this 50 euros, because it's not very well known in Germany, or also other benefits. Also in other countries, there are countries where benefits are super widely used, and other countries where I have no idea how it's in Norway, but
Me neither, actually.
do you have any employee benefits? You should look into this.
I bet all the Nordic countries do. I could imagine that, like, with the amount of
Yes.
crazy
Yes.
stuff that, we pay in taxes, and like, I think so. I would be
But you see,
majorly surprised.
what a great
if not.
example. You have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, true, actually.
So actually, I'm happy for good competition, and we had it in the small talk we did in the beginning, because also not every client is a good fit for your company. So, and if once you realize that, you don't have to win everyone, because maybe some other clients are better with another competitor who has a different company culture, different culture, not better or worse, just different. It makes life easier, my life, the life of my colleagues, because if you have well-fitting customers,
Yeah.
it's
Everything
easier
else
to communicate and
runs
to
smoother.
work together.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You sort of have to choose your battles. Like, you have to choose, because you could also look at, all of those customers, and look like, okay, why are they switching to a competitor, to a different model, or why are we losing them? And like, try to evolve all of that. But
Yes.
you also at some point have to say, this is our direction. This is why we're also different. Because if, like, you can also end up with like the Frankenstein of, you're sort of okay at everything, but you're not really good at anything. And then, that's also not how you're, like, in the long run, I think, win. But for sure, the looking at what could you develop that would make sense and actually fit into your, value proposition is, yeah, always good.
I have some notes with some main messages I want to push into this podcast, and I'll use your lead up to
Nice.
that one. It's actually
Brilliant.
my last one, but whatever, it works here. So it's not always important to be the loudest one, but in my personal opinion, and sometimes loud also works, but in my personal opinion, especially in B2B, if you want to be there for a long time, it's better to be the deepest one, with the deepest roots. We at Givve, we had, because we always need a bank. We don't have a banking license, and doesn't make sense. So we use a different bank, and at one point at the beginning, our cards were with Wirecard, and Wirecard was a big startup bank in Germany who got very famously bankrupt because they did fraud with 1.8 billion euros in their books, which never existed. And Jan Masalek is also, he's one of the founders. He's now in Russia because he was a Russian spy. So there's a Netflix about it, Wirecard.
Wow.
And our cards were there. And at that moment, it's a long time ago, we had 70 million euros on those cards. For a small company, this is
It's a
substantial
lot of
money.
money. Yeah.
And for one weekend, it was not clear. The FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, the British one, froze all our cards, and it was not clear if the money is there. So this was an intense weekend. And a funny story. I know we don't have too much time, but we had a new CFO, Marina, and she started 2 weeks before that happened. And in the first 2 or 3 days, she thought this is kind of a stress test.
Sketchy. Yeah.
She didn't believe this is actually happening.
That would be the craziest thing to like, okay, let's test our employees. Like how much can they actually take? It's a good idea.
Yeah,
actually.
unfortunately, it's what was the stress test. And you see, we survived. And storms, if a tree, oh my God, yeah, it's very pathetic, I know. But if a tree survives the storm, but it makes deeper roots. So
Yeah.
in the end, it's the ones that no one can pull out that survive somehow.
Forever.
So yeah, try to go deep.
How did you end up like going deep after that? Like how do you solve a situation like that?
We very quickly changed to a new bank. It was Rates Bank, which got also super famously bankrupt. So, but it's nothing to do with us. So yeah.
No, I believe you.
And it's actually a really good question, because it's a question how you are managing in this situation, because we are a management team of 5 people. And in this situation, as a founder or co-founder, you feel the urgency to do everything yourself and to have 5 calls per day and meetings with everyone. If you do that, can also work. But I was really trying to let the specialists, all of the 5 or the other 4 colleagues, way better in what they are doing than I ever could do it, because they are specialists for this, the CFO or the CTO. So letting the people work and protecting them and move everything that could impact their focused work. That was my main job, to keep all the loud stuff that's actually very distracting but not super effective, to keep this away and to let them focus on real valuable work in these crisis situations. It's extremely hard and takes a lot of discipline, but in the end, this is the best what you can do
if you have the right people in your
such a
team.
crisis. And if you did it once, the second time is still shitty, but you have the experience that you survived it once, and somehow probably you will get again through it. So you get a bit more confident, a bit deeper, a bit more rooted, actually.
Exactly.
Oh, so good. Yes.
You get a lot more confident because like, you're going to get through it. And that's what breaks people, is the shit. I don't know if we can survive this. Like, it's such a mental game. If you just always had that conviction of like whatever they fucking put in front of me, I'm gonna get through it. Like, I heard this thing now we're getting deep. Like, I heard this like study they did the other day with a mouse, where they wanted to see how long a mouse or a rat could swim. So they dropped it in water and it swam for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, then it drowned. Then they, I think they took it up, used the same one, and then they dropped it in again. But now it knew that, it would be picked up before it actually drowned. So the first time it swam for 15 minutes. How long do you think it swam the second time around?
Much longer, I guess, because it knew
82 hours.
Can risk. Also, not much longer, but much longer.
It knew it would survive. Exactly. Much, much, much longer. Like, people say that, you can do 10 times as much as what you think, or five times as much as what you think, and 100 times as much as your mother thinks. But it's actually way more. It's like, I thought it was so interesting because it's so that mindset of, do you if you just have the conviction of, well, I'm gonna get through it, then you'll just like keep going. But if you have the, let it affect you of, I don't know if we can make it, then that's like where you end up quitting, or you don't make the right decisions either.
Cool. Wow, that's a really good one. I'll keep that in mind.
I thought so as well. I've been wanting to use it for a while.
That's a good opportunity. Thanks for letting me in on this one. It's a strong one.
I want to dig into the numbers a little bit, because it is
Frederick, wait a
impressive, like you
second,
said. Yeah, go on.
because I have also a name for this. I call all these things also type 2 fun, because it only makes fun once it's over. We talked about ski touring and stuff, or mountaineering. Sometimes the best adventures are the ones where, again, pathetic, where you leave your comfort zone and are not so sure if you're ever gonna be back in the comfort zone.
Yeah,
And
100%.
it's annoying, it's dark, it's cold, it hurts. And while you do it, it can be also not so much fun, but afterwards, or when you can see the end, these are actually the best adventures and the ones worth telling. But like with the mouse, you somehow need the confidence that you somehow survive it. Only then you can like go through it. And yeah, I call it type 2 fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Sorry,
actually.
I put you off track.
No,
So you wanted to talk about
great.
numbers.
I like to talk about this stuff way more, to be honest. Like,
Me too.
it's
Numbers.
so interesting, all of this mindset stuff, and it's so easy to think, nah, this is not that important. I just need to, do the work and all of these things. But it's from my experience, it does, like, it makes such a big difference. Also, just at the end of the day, everyone just wants some feeling of like fulfillment, and if you don't have that in mind, like, I don't think, like, I think it's pretty hard to actually do. And it's fun, like, the more you do of those things, like the stuff where you're like, am I gonna get through this? Like, where you really have to override your mind and like keep overriding and be like, I'll get through it, I'll get through it, I'll get through it. Not always really believing it. Like, that's the more times you've done it, the easier it becomes. And the more fun it actually ends up being. Like, you end up in a place where it's like, you actually enjoy it in the meantime as well. Like, you get to a place where you can be like, fuck, this is really hard, but damn, like, this is going to be a good story. But, if you don't do all of that, then every time you get in that situation, you're just like, you feel like the world is going to melt.
It's totally, yeah, not totally. I'm thinking if I enjoy the hard situations, but for me, it's actually one of my philosophies is I always, if I have two choices, like a hard one and a soft one, I even stopped thinking about it. I always take the hard one because I know in the end it's a much easier life afterwards. Always when I thought, oh, this is such an opportunity and such an opportunistic thing, and I just I take the easy way out, it was always a fucking catastrophe afterwards. Always. Like, never ever it worked. Like hiring people. Yeah, I have a little doubt, but this is such a great opportunity. Always. In doubt, don't hire. So many. And now if there's an elevator or stairs, I know this is again very simple, but
I was just going to say, like, yeah.
I take the stairs because yeah, it's the right thing to do. Yeah. So, but
I like that.
it for me takes, it's a conscious choice every single day. And sometimes it's go to the gym. I do movement or call it sport or whatever, I do it every day. And the best ones are actually the ones where I think, oh no, not today. I can't. I just can't. And then you do it anyway. And that's where you leave the gym or whatever you do with the best feeling, because you you choose the hard thing to do, and it just adds a lot of value to your health, to your life, to the
Exactly.
relationships around you. Yeah.
It's like,
actually
it's
kind
back
of
to the
simple.
fulfillment. It's like, yeah, going through hard stuff, just like, I don't know how it works, to be honest, but it gives you so much like sense of like happiness and fulfillment, and like this, yeah, I can do it, or I could do it. That, yeah, it just adds so much meaning. Or like, where if you just do the easy stuff every time, you're just like this blob, like you're just this cork in the ocean that's just floating around, like with no meaning, no value. It's, yeah, that would be my nightmare, to be honest.
Yeah, still now talking in a podcast, it's super abstract and far away. But yeah, actually, it's really a solid advice, and I can only motivate you, take when you can, and it's not always possible. When you can, take the harder of the options, and in the end, probably not while you're doing it. I don't agree with you so much, Frederick. I still
I'm psychotic
don't.
in some ways, yeah.
Maybe it's a little kink of you, who knows? No, just joking. But yeah, I can only motivate you. Just, yeah, it's not always possible, and let's be realistic. But if you can, if you have a choice, and if you're hurting no one, take the harder one.
Yeah. Like, how do you bring that into, actually, like how you mentioned, like how you hire people? Obviously, like, I haven't hired 70 people, and you've probably hired twice or thrice as many of that, but I feel like I've already experienced that, you can feel it instantly. Like, even if it looks good on paper, but it's like the easy route, everything should be good, but you can just feel it. And the hard route is to, keep hiring for another 2 weeks or 2 months, until, yeah, or like 6 months, until you actually find the right person. It's so much better, because it's gonna give you so much more headache, and like, yeah, yeah. How do you bring that into like the, like, customer facing side of it? Like, because I've also experienced it in, every time you hear, there's this new channel to get new clients that's, better than everything else, and it's so easy, like AI SDRs or whatever. Like, I haven't had any of them work yet. I will say we do try a few. Um, like, it's always just the relatively simple stuff, the stuff where it's like, this makes sense. It doesn't necessarily work straight away, but you need to actually iterate, and you need to actually like learn it. But I haven't had any of the quick, easy routes, to be honest.
No, me neither. There's unfortunately there is not like a secret sauce or anything. It's in the end, it's always, the energy you put in is the result you get out. So if you put a lot of energy into something, sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it takes longer. But if you put energy into something, you will get a reward. And it's how much resources you have and you can put in, the higher the reward is. And sometimes, I think it's, if you have it when you're smaller, it's harder. When you have a little bit more resources, it's easier. But what works best, if you have multiple sources, and sometimes there's some kind of synergy or overreaching effect, that can feel like magic sometimes. But in the end, it's especially in B2B. If I call 10 people and win one, Or if I call 100 people, then I
Yeah,
win
I was just
10.
gonna say that's a pretty good rate. I could
Ah,
use you
okay,
in
yeah.
some cold calling.
Yeah, that's a pretty, just for the example, you know what I mean? So, and it's not that when you call 100, you win 12. Unfortunately, no. It's at least not in my experience. Um, it's just some hard, just some hard work,
Yeah.
actually.
How do you like? How have you gone about like the entire customer acquisition on the B2B side, like throughout the years, and deciding like sort of the road all the way through everything that you've sort of done and where you've ended up to, where you're at right now, and how you're doing it and how you're looking at it in terms of, where are we pushing money and time and effort, and where are we not?
Always until, yeah, maybe we are a little bit softer, but in general, we only use money for performance related actions. So where we can really measure input versus output. This I like also with our colleagues. I'm never interested so much in input. I'm only interested in output. So, if you can do your job at Givve in 2 hours per day, then you do something else with your time. I only would be worried if you need 10 hours per day to do your work, because then the system is broken or you're not the right person, or yeah, probably I would start to find the what's not working at Givve. We had these times when people suddenly need to start to work a lot more, also for creating leads, for example. Then we are not in the right channels, or we don't have the good communication. Normally, you should really be able to, if we stay with the lead creation, to do your work and everything in a normal time. If you can do that, then the system is working, and otherwise you need to change how you do it. And at Givve, it's we and it took us so much longer than we thought, probably 2 or maybe 3 years, to really create enough of leads incoming, because since now, or until now, we are only answering created leads. So we are actually not doing cold calling or cold acquisition. We only answer to leads we beforehand created. And to have enough leads always incoming, you need to build a huge enough wave, because you build a wave, it's not breaking. And once it starts, breaking, but you need to feed the wave. Otherwise it's stopping. So we put a lot of energy, probably even more than in sales, we put into the creation of the good quality leads. But it takes so much time, what you said, to find the right leads that are afterwards not only customers, but customers that actually is a good fit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
that
took us
cycle
quite
is
some
also
time.
longer. There's the cycle of, okay, how do we generate leads and how do we turn them into customers, which can in itself be, 6 to
Yeah,
12 months, sometimes longer.
can be.
Then there's do they actually become good clients? Do they actually become clients that stick with us, which can be like 5 years before you actually know if it was the right, approach. So like, yeah, it's not
Also,
always easy for sure.
how much maintenance are these clients? Is it only high maintenance clients, or is it clients that work well with how we do the business? Yeah. And then you can start, once you have this, then it's really great and cool, because then you can start to optimize. You have a sales cycle from lead to customer of, let's say, 12 months, and then you can start look at it and what can we do to bring it down and bring down the customer acquisition costs and stuff. The first raw creation is brutal. I still remember, it's a long time
Before you
ago.
have that wave where it's like actually turning into clients and all of that, you can't really track all of that data because you just
No,
don't have it. So you just have to like use brute force. That's
and it's
like,
super unrealistic, because in the beginning our customer acquisition cost was probably 1,200 euros or whatever, and now it's, I don't know the numbers, but maybe 15 euros. And it's just a too large gap. It's in the beginning, it's really brutal, and you need investment because you're not break even. We are a tech startup. It can be different for other companies. And you have to do it intelligently, and start from the beginning to really track everything, because without tracking and without data, it's impossible. It's just, you just burn the money.
Like, how did you decide which of these, efforts or channels or whatever we call it to like keep pushing into? Because it's also, when it's a longer sales cycle and all of these things, you have to sort of be patient, but there's also the breaking point there. Like, are you going to give it 2 years of just pouring money and time into something that's not actually showing? Like, how do you think about that? How do you actually make those decisions?
That was probably when we went bankrupt the second time. Yeah, the most honest answer I can give to you is by intuition, by just failure, by actually just trying. That's the most honest. I could tell you now, like, super clever stuff, and probably there are people who can do it more intelligently, but for us it was like really trial and error and make experiences. The most intelligent thing we did was track it well and analyze it well, and then just improve, get rid of those that are not working, push on the ones working, finding out the ones we pushed only worked because we pushed also the other one. So it's so interrelated.
It's
You have to find your way.
exactly. I think I really I can really relate to that answer, because like from my experience, it's you have to actually just choose the channels or the ways of doing things that actually make sense to you, and where you can analyze things and you can see, okay, it makes sense that this should work. Okay, we're not seeing the numbers that we should be seeing yet, but we decide to continue with this because it should make sense. Maybe there's even other people, which typically there is, other similar businesses that have done it, have cracked it. So like, also just having faith in those things, instead of continuing to like trying all of these new things and different things that you don't really believe in. Like, it's all of those, I don't know, fucking AI SDRs. It just comes to mind because we hear it so much. Like, it sounds too good to be true, because it is. It's not. It can't be solved to that extent that you just plug in an AI and then it does all of the sales work for you. Like, that's a story story that's made up. It's not going to work that way, at least yet. So like, actually focusing on those things where you feel like this is the right path, this should work, other people are maybe doing it, and just continuing to do that and have that faith in it. Because the more time you spend on testing all of these completely different angles that you don't really believe in, like, the longer it's just going to take to actually like find the stuff that really works. From my experience, we've done that. We've really had a period of that where we've tried a lot of these things and like tried them for not long enough time as well. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff that works. So you also just have to like stick with something for long enough to actually make it work. And like, from my experience, I don't know how you look at it.
Absolutely. And again, it's one of the really big tipping points or success factors, call it what you want, was when we first introduced a dashboard about our company figures and made it available to our then probably 10 employees. But to have, and what was it? I think they're no longer working, Gecko board or whatever. It's a long time ago. It was just one of these dashboards looking cool. And once we really had this on a hourly basis for everyone, touchable, what's going on in data, it changed minds and culture. So openly having the data for everyone to analyze it, to see it, to touch it, to make it tangible. But for this, you need to track it, so you can't use Excel to track your customer success or whatever. You have to have a proper whatever, wherever you track it. Just it needs to be. And this, I would suggest you do this from the beginning, because you put in so much money to win one client, and then you win one client or you lose, and you need to see this track. Where did you lose this one? Where did you win the other one? Only when you can start to analyze this, you will go somewhere. When you just pour money and win some, lose some, don't track it, how often you had to call, how often, whatever you had to do, webinar, it's so many ways. You really need to know why and how and when. I know this is shitty work because it's hard work again. It's nothing fun, and it's
Not the
just
easy route.
like being super disciplined. But only then, in the end, it will work.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. It's so true. It's really, it's not that fancy. It's the
And
foundational stuff.
it's the foundation. And I have another one, because we're in the B2B space, and this I see so often. And I also do this mistake. I'm also learning and trying to do this. Always ask for the maximum. Most people negotiate against themselves even before they sit down, I do the same sometimes because I'm scared, or I have to win this one. I can't lose this one. And then you can goes already out the window. If you really, and your maximum, it doesn't need to be a crazy one, but just the one where you feel, oh yeah, if I achieve this, then it's like,
That's good.
that's a good one. Then
Yeah.
I'm like more than happy. Ask for this. And if you really ask and tell, hey, this is definitely my maximum, and you should pay this, because then we invested in great customer service, we invested in tech, and with this, it's the right thing to do. I'm so surprised how often people, they can feel you're honest. They can feel you actually. And I'm so surprised how often this works. It works more often than it doesn't, actually. Ask for the maximum. Don't be scared. I'm scared too.
Yeah.
Like in 99% of the time still. But I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Ask for the
Yeah.
maximum. Even with pricing in B2B, I see so many cool companies. They're delivering such a great value, and they don't charge accordingly. No, please charge money. And if your service is shit and not valuable at all, change it, but don't sell it for cheap. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Improve and sell it for good maximum pricing. Yeah, that's also a lesson. Took me several years to learn this one.
It's like, it makes a lot of sense because, I think it probably comes down to you're not going to be handed things. Like everyone pretty much is in it for themselves. So, but that doesn't mean that like if you actually ask for things, most of the time people will actually, or you end up at the price where you were actually happy. Like instead of lowballing yourself or not asking or not being truthful even. Like if you're truthful and honest, I think that just goes a long way. On that note, Patrick, it has been an absolute pleasure. I've had so much fun. If anyone wanted to follow along on the journey that you are on with Givve, what would be the best place to do so?
Just hit me up on LinkedIn. You probably can share this on the meeting, on the show
Absolutely.
notes.
I'll share
My
it in
contact,
the
and yeah, cool.
Patrick Loeffler. Nice. Perfect. All
It's
right.
easy.
Thank you so much. I will.
Thank you, Frederick.
See you later.
See you.